The Federal and Pedestha Hospital jointly present the Kanyakumari Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Rojavanam International School. Run for Health on Sunday, May 4. Entry is free and all are welcome.
Today, the multilingual talent is not a talent, it is absolutely worthless. Today's knowledge is based on meta languages, not on language. The Tamils are generally linguistic fanatics, but nobody learned them. Nobody is interested in them. It's a very interesting double standard. Tamil education in Tamil Nadu is surprisingly very low. Actually, that's a situation in Kerala also. Younger generation cannot read Malayalam. They can read only English. A mother of a writer never takes. I prefer matriarchal society is better than patriarchal society. My father is a Tamil scholar. My mother was a Tamil scholar. And there are a lot of Tamil scholars in my family.
Hello and welcome to Culture Vibes, the Federal special program in which we talk to writers and artists about their work. Joining me today is a very special guest, one of the most respected writers in India today, Jeyamohan, who is known for his works in Tamil and Malayalam literature. He has written novels, essays, and short stories that explore everything from mythology to modern life. His new book, Of Men, Women, and Witches, which was originally published in Malayalam, has just been published in English. It's translated by Sangheetha Puthiyedath, and it has been published by Juggernaut. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jeyamohan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I think it's for the second time that you are on this show of the Federal. The last time we spoke about was around your previous book that was translated by Suchitra Ramachandran, called The Abyss. Yeah. And it was, of course, a translation of Yelam Ulagam, and we had spoken at length about them. So let me begin with question about the memoir, and that is it's a memoir that takes us back to your childhood in southern part of Tamil Nadu, near Kerala's borders, where cultures and languages and beliefs all mix in wonderfully unexpected ways. And it's, of course, you talk about two of the most important women in your life, your mother, your grandmother, and there are others who shaped you. You also write about your abusive father and your unhappy childhood. How did growing up in a matrilineal Kerala Tamil culture kind of change the way you think about power, gender, and what we call family?
This system, this matriarchal system, that we call Marmakataya, that matriarchal system is very strange in India. You can find it only in Northeast. Otherwise, you cannot find anything in India like this. So it is a very, very curious thing. I born and brought up in a Nair family, which has a matriarchal system. Until my mother's age. So my mother lived in a patriarchal system because she married a very patriarch-like mother, like my father. But I was surprised to see some kind of things in patriarchal society. For example, girls from rich families, they got married to a rich man. Then suddenly that man dies and the girl become very poor and she began to work in small houses as housemaids, or she's doing some kind of small petty business. So continuously I'm watching this kind of thing in Tamil Nadu. Still I am wondering about it. Suddenly one day a woman can be a poor person. Her father is still a rich person, but she is a poor woman within a day. That's what continuously I'm watching in Tamil society. That's the major difference I am watching from my viewpoint in Tamil culture. So I prefer matriarchal society is better than patriarchal society. Still, because my mothers and my grandmothers are very powerful women. I have a deep respect for them, not affection. respect. They are very learned persons. They are scholars. They are very free women, and they have a kind of individual personality. They have their own court cases, they have their own land dealings, and they have their own culture. It's a very interesting thing, I have to say. Recently, I visited one Malayalam poet. Her name is Sugata Kumari. She was very old. She was living in Trivandrum. She was nearly 70, 80 age. She was living with she was living with her sister, her younger sister, Sujata. Both sisters are living in a house separately. That's a very interesting relationship. In Kerala, generally the relations between sisters is very strong, and they have a very strong bond throughout their life. That's a very interesting thing. You cannot find it in Tamil Nadu, particularly in patriarchal societies. Woman has no good relation with another woman because they are actually dependents of men. That's why they have enmity between themselves. So these are the beautiful things in matriarchal society, and still I prefer matriarchal society.
Right. Related to this, in the first chapter itself, it is titled in English "Taste of Medicine," and you write about your mother and her various literary influences, beginning with Changaponza Ramanan, and you blame later towards the end of the chapter that perhaps that could have led to her tragic change, sort of your own reading of Ramanan and Changampoza's work when you went back to it after her death.
Uh, Actually, I'm a truly bilingual person. I have a deep taste and knowledge in Malayalam literature and Tamil literature. Actually, I'm the one writer in Tamil who know ancient Tamil literature very well. Because I'm not a Malayali, I'm not a Tamil, I'm a bilingual person. Because my father is a Tamil scholar, my mother was a Tamil scholar, and there are a lot of Tamil scholars in my family. Because in Kerala, in this area, the language of government is Tamil. The ruling language is Tamil for a long time. Even documents are in Tamil. Still, a lot of documents are in Tamil. So we call it Malayanmai, a strange Tamil. So I am truly bilingual. So I have a deep taste in Malayalam and Tamil. So in a particular age, there was a romantic wave in Malayalam. Ramana is the creation of that wave. And you can see the interesting thing of matriarchal society even in Ramana, because that woman, Chandrika, is a very strong woman. She easily dismissed that boy. She's not dependent of that man. So this man, Ramanan, cannot tolerate the independent character and the strong character of a woman. That's a common thing in that age. At the time of 50s and 60s, when men become educated and they started their own life, they are actually trying to create their own homes. They are actually trying to create patriarchal society. One is my father. He got a government job. Immediately he tried to create a patriarchal society within himself, a patriarchal family, etc. So what he was trying was to marry Chandrika and create a patriarchal family. That was not easily possible. That's why he committed suicide. So that tragedy was romanticized by Changambuda. Now I think Ramanan is a interesting poem with beautiful lines, and I have no respect for romanticism at this stage. But
Yes.
still, I cherish the memory of my mother who loved Raman, and her close friend She committed suicide also. So at that time there was a suicide wave throughout India. There was a lot of crisis in the society because the society was changing. Everywhere the society was changing. So some people cannot cope up with that change, and some people are victimized by the change, and some people are actually thrown out of society by the change. So in a society where there is severe and drastic changes, naturally some outsiders are being created, and few of them easily commit suicide. And at that time, suicide was actually glorified by our literature, particularly Ramanan. And you can see one or two minor epics in every language glorifying suicide. So I think now my mother has that tendency in her mind, in her subconscious, from the young ages, because she was a very ardent reader of Changambulla. So she had a obsession for suicide, because at that time, a lot of movies, see, young couple committing suicide. So suicide is the natural end of a lot of movies at that time. So that complaint is always there. Not now. Now suicides are happening out of depression and loneliness and all that. At that time, outsiders committed suicide. That's an entirely different thing.
So there was something metaphysical about it, you were saying.
Yeah, that's true. There is something metaphysical, philosophical at that time, because see, at the 1950s and 60s, after the fall of communist movement, after the fall of Ranadive thesis, the first communist uh, movement, failure of the communist movement, a lot of people committed suicide. A lot of people become outsiders of the society.
Was it important for you to write this memoir in Malayalam and not in Tamil?
Say, at that time, my friend K.C. Narayanan was working with Madhupumi. He asked me to write something in Madhupumi. I was looking the patterns of Malayalam writing. See, unlike Tamil, Malayalam has a very rich essay tradition. A lot of non-fiction type of writings are there. There are very great essayists are there, starting from Kaumudi Balakrishnan, P.K. Balakrishnan. A lot of very, very good essayists are there. So I have to write something new. So I don't want to write political essays. I don't want to write travelers. So I want to write something very fresh. So I started to write about my personal life. I used to narrate my personal life to Mr. K.C. Narayanan. And K.C. Narayanan once said, you can write this. So I started to write about my personal life. An interesting thing. These are personal narratives. These are essays. But one of my friends, Mr. K. Madhupal, he approached me to make it into a movie. So I wrote the script of that movie, and he made it as a movie. The name is Ozhimuri. Ozhimuri means divorce. That movie released in 2004, and it got a national award. It was a celebrated movie in Malayalam. I think
Yes.
this is the first time a script is made from a non-fiction. That's an interesting thing.
Episodes that you write in the book, which are very painful. For instance, the episode related to your father, and and how he was very short-tempered, the kind of differences that he had with your mother, and that tragedy in the family that happened once your mother sent the divorce notice to him. I wanted to ask you if it was painful for you to draw on these childhood memories and write about them.
Yeah, those childhood memories are not so haunting to me because I was a wanderer at my age, at my young age. I used to travel throughout Kanyakumari district. I used to go to Trivandrum and all other places to visit um, Kathakali and other festival places. And I was a kabaddi player also.
Okay.
So I don't worry about my young age, but their death haunted me very well because they both committed suicide. Not the loss of my parents, but the but something in it. You may call it as philosophical problem or spiritual problem or something very strange. That affected me very much. So it made me very a lonely person. Uh, I traveled inside me a lot. So that's why I'm not much interested in politics and other sociological issues. I am always very curious on spiritual questions about the life and death, about the timeless flow of history and everything. So that's why I'm writing big novels because I have very perennial basic questions in my life. I started to think about human existence from that period. See, more than 5 or 6 years, I was a very disturbed person. I may be a imbalanced person at that time. I cannot recollect those days, but in those days I could not sleep. I could not sleep for 2 or 3 hours in a day. You cannot imagine a thing. I used to visit liquor shops, but I cannot enter into it because I gave a promise to my father that I won't touch liquor. Still now, I never touch liquor. But I want to get into the liquor shop and drink something. But throughout night, I used to stand there in the gateway of a liquor shop and I will go back to my bed in the morning. I started to writing. I started to write. After writing my early works, I invented that it was curing me. It was bringing me out. So, to me, writing is a curing process. Writing is a it's a great consolement to me. So still now I find my refuge in writing.
Hmm.
Even
That's so
in this
beautiful.
recent Corona period, COVID period, 2 year confinement in my house. So I started to write stories. I wrote every day a story. I wrote 136 short stories at that time. 136 short stories. Continuously I was writing short stories. And the writing was a I cannot say that it's a spiritual experience for me. I used to say often that what meditation to Buddha is writing to me, nothing less. My mother committed suicide nearly 40 years before. She was a writer, she was a great reader, and even now I can remember my long literary discussions with my mother. So suddenly, the memory of her
Right.
face, voice, and even smell emerged now in my mind, and it made me very disturbed. Uh, so I can
Right.
actually I feel that she is now here. You know one thing, a mother of a writer never dies. I made her immortal through my writing. Almost every reader of mine know her.
Let me ask you about this at a time when identity politics dominates literature and debate. You're writing those big novels that you say you write. They refuse those easy categories of including caste or nation or religion. So do you think it's very conscious choice how you sort of write your stories?
I cannot say an easy answer for this question. But identity politics is very predominant even from the time of 1925. So it's a major issue in a country like this because we are a very, very diverse country, various faiths and various castes and creed, and a lot of languages. So it's very quite normal that identity politics is there. Uh, so I think a writer should not fight with identity politics because it's a practical thing. People rely on it. So we have to create something bigger than this identity politics, something greater than this identity politics. That's what I am trying to create. I'm not fighting against identity politics. I actually I ignore it, but I'm creating a holistic picture. I'm creating a core, which I will call as spiritualism, non-religious spiritualism, and I am trying to create great human dramas. That's the only way to fight with this silly identity politics. And personally, I had a uh, ideology that I will call it micropolitics. I mean, I am away from all political ideologies, and I won't indulge in any kind of political activity. But I believe in micropolitics. That means politics of small scale, politics of regionalized. I organize a lot of political activities in these days. Or we can say that Gandhian politics. We work with tribes, we work with women, we work with a lot of fringe groups. Recently, I got a award, a Gandhian award for these activities,
Okay.
Sarvodaya Jagannathan award for
Right.
these kind of micro political activities. So I believe in Gandhian politics, which I will refer as micro politics. This is not a politics against anything. We are trying to create something positive, something very creative among people in a small scale. And I believe this is the only worthy politics today. All other
Very
politics are just competition for power, and it is basically worthless. You have to change yourself to attain power. So, if you want, see, Modi is in power. If you want to remove Modi, you have to be a Modi. Slowly, you have to be a Modi. Then only you can replace Modi. So, what is the use of it? So, I don't believe any kind of politics. And I have a very strong point. I have very strong stand that I won't accept anything from government, any award. More than 10 times, a lot of seniors asked me to accept Kendra Sahitya Academy Award. Said, I said, no, I don't accept any award from government or government institutions. I was offered Padma Shri or 4 or 5 years back, and I refused it. No, I won't accept anything from government. That's my politics.
three language formula that is just causing a lot of resistance in
Yeah.
Tamil Nadu. Yeah.
So usually I don't indulge in these kind of current political affairs because it's not my job, and it will affect my concentration on philosophical and sociological issues in which I am involving. But I
But
have
this is
so I have to say one thing. So I'm a multilingual person. I know Malayalam and Tamil. I can manage to understand Kannada, and I am writing in English also. But today, even my father is a bilingual person, multilingual person. My mother knew 3 languages, and my grandmother knew 4 languages. But today, the multilingual talent is not a talent. It is absolutely worthless because in older days, almost every scholars in India are multilingual persons. That is very essential. One must know Sanskrit and regional language at that time, but not now. Today, you have to know at least only one language very well. That's a great thing. If you know only one language, it's a real great thing. But it should be a global language like English. And another, so what is the important in it? There are a lot of meta languages today. These meta languages emerged within these 50 years. Today's knowledge is based on meta languages, not on language. So a person is actually learning a lot of meta languages throughout his life to understand any field of knowledge. So that is what we have to concentrate in these days, not on languages. So compelling people to learn a lot of languages makes them dull and makes them ineffective in their learning. I am against uh, insisting more than one language. So actually only one language is enough. So if you want to learn more, you have to learn one cultural language like your mother tongue, either Tamil, Marathi, or any other language. That's enough. The Tamils are generally linguistic fanatics, but nobody learned Tamil. Nobody is interested in Tamil. It's just a very interesting double standard. Tamil education in Tamil Nadu is surprisingly very low. Nobody studies Tamil in the schools, particularly the urban middle class. They never learn Tamil. The urban middle class children absolutely ignorant of Tamil. They cannot read a single page in Tamil. So an average Madras kid cannot read a single page in Tamil. An average urban kid, even from Madurai or Coimbatore or Trichy, cannot read Tamil. So we have a very young generation without any knowledge of English, but they cannot read with any knowledge in Tamil, but they cannot read English also. They can manage in English, but they have no deep knowledge in English,
Right.
and they are totally ignorant of Tamil. So that's the situation in Tamil Nadu. That's the situation in Kerala also. Younger generation cannot read Malayalam. They can read only English. They are not reading in Malayalam. But a set of writers are emerging from these English educated youngsters. They are starting to write in Tamil. See Premada and Sujitra Ramachandran, they never studied Tamil in their school. They study Tamil out of their own interest and they are translating from Tamil to English. So I'm looking at this new generation who had personal interest in Tamil and learning Tamil out of their own interest and writing in English and Tamil. So they can create a difference.
Certainly, I mean, and with the kind of work you are doing, I'm certain it's going to make a difference. One last question, Mr. Jeyamohan, and then we wind up, and that is about a question about you of course a very very serious writer, philosophical, and there's so many layers to your fiction that that a reader always comes very very enriched and informed. And I wanted to understand from you if what is your idea of serious literature and what it should be today. That it's a different world now compared to what it was when you started writing, and now it's completely changed. It's a world of
Yeah, that's
algorithms.
true.
Yeah,
See, when I was young man, I used to read a lot in English, like Encounter, Partition Review. I used to read that books in libraries. At that time, there was a big rift between serious writing and common and popular writing. Writers like Norman Mailer, they used to talk very violently about this kind of popular writing. But suddenly, the difference began to vanish, and these postmodern critics, they they made a great attack on serious literature only. And for them, any kind of literature is a kind of study material only. There is no difference. They have no difference between a pulp writer and a serious kind of writer. So after postmodernism, there was a very, very deep trouble in literary criticism. But there is absolutely no literary criticism in the world today. In recent days, there are only literary commentaries are there, or some kinds of research on literary texts. There is no literary criticism. There is no discerning critic. In India and in US, there is no popular discerning critic now. So how books are valued today? So in every book, you can see the number over it. 50,000 copies sold. So that's the quality of a book. That's the specialty of a book. So how much copies sold? That's the question. That's a question in US. That's a question in English also. Fortunately, that's not the question in Tamil. Here we have a clear distinction between serious writer and commercial writer. Still, because our critics are still maintaining that yardstick. Still, they are keeping the difference. So that difference is not working in US. Even in academia also, they consider every kind of writing as same. But I personally feel there's two kind of writing, and there is two kind of movie, and there is two kind of art. Everything. The first thing is a commercial writing is a product. Actually, any product it is manufactured for the taste of the consumer. See, I am working in movies. We used to discuss a lot about the movies. Before creating a movie, we used to discuss about movies, but we would never discuss about the script or the characters or the idea of the movie. We used to discuss about the listeners of the movie. Will they receive it? So, what is the trend now? What is the general idea of public? That's what we used to discuss, because a movie is actually made for a commercial movie is made for general public, the consumer. So I'll differentiate like this: a commercial writing is consumer oriented, reader oriented. It is catered for the palate of the reader. That it is catered for the fetish of the reader. A serious writing actually, it is writer oriented. So I am writing for the reader, but I won't go towards the reader. I expect they have to come to me. See, my writings are translated in English, and an international edition is going to publish it. But they are very regional. I am writing about my native place. An American reader has to understand my personal world, and he has to come to my world. I won't adjust myself to an American reader. Yeah, serious literature is a writer oriented. I am writing about myself, my life, my spiritual quest, and my intellectual confusions and intellectual ideas. That's what I am presenting in my work. So a writer, he has to come towards me. I won't go towards a reader. That's the difference. So that difference will be always there. And I believe that intelligent reader is there always. He will be there. Somebody, not always, not everyone.
Yeah.
Intelligent reader cannot be cheated by a commercial product. If he is really intelligent, and if he is really sensitive, I mean art sensitive,
Right.
if he read more than 1 or 2 years continuously, he'll be disappointed by the manufactured works very easily. He cannot read more than 2 years. If you are continuously reading fiction, you cannot read for more than 2 years. See, these American popular fictions. If you can listen it, there is a particular pattern in it. After the 20% of that book, there will be a semi-pornographic scene there. A semi-porn area will be there. And the juxtapositions of characters and how they connect the events, how they are pacing a story, how they are presenting the plot within 10 pages from this. So it's made up out of a formula created by the experts.
Yeah.
Actually, editors are creating that fiction out of feedback they are getting from the readers. So very easily a sensitive person will be feel that he is being cheated by them. A sensitive reader is always keen for getting something unique. Actually, a good reader is trying to communicate with the person behind the work. Stories of the truth are of men, women, and witches are is just a tool. Actually, you are communicating through it to me. It's a media only. I am the spider behind this web. I am waiting for the insect to come. I am waiting for I actually am lurking behind this text. I'm waiting for the reader. When suddenly I have a personal, spiritual, and emotional connect with this reader, and that's what called art. You cannot connect with the you cannot connect with the common popular writer through his write. You cannot connect with a pulp writer, but you cannot easily connect with me. So I have a deep personal connection with Tolstoy. You can see his photo in my room.
Yeah.
Every day I am looking at him. Every day for 35 years, every day I am looking at him. He is like my father, and he is more than my father. He died 100 years before. No, so I have a personal connection with Tolstoy. I have a personal connection with Sivarama. I have a personal connection with Adin Bandyopadhyay. I have a very personal connection with Vaikam Modubashi. That connection is always there in literature. So I think there will be good reader in any place.
In any place, yeah.
Uh,
That's a very beautiful way to end this conversation, Mr.
Thank you.
That you are as a writer yourself as a spider who's casting this web, and you want your readers to come into the web and fall into it. What a beautiful way to put it! And I'm sure there are readers around the world who are discovering your fiction and coming to you, to your net, and being, enjoying every moment of being in that net. So thank you so much for talking to us. It was really lovely talking to you.
The Federal and Pedesta Hospital jointly present the Kanyakumari Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Ozhimuri International School. Run for Health on Sunday, May 4. Entry is free and all are welcome.